Yo, what's good, everybody? Um, Jalen, man. Jalen's supposed to be here prepared, and he's letting us down. Gifted, how you feel about that, bro?
Jalen, ever since his godfather LeBron got swept, he has not been acting the same. So that's tough to
Bro,
see, but we here.
I've never seen, and I don't get that, bro. How can people ride for somebody so hard? Pause. But how can they just be a ride or die to somebody that don't know them and isn't a ride or die to them? Like Jalen is a ride or die for LeBron.
Yeah, he is right there for LeBron.
And I don't get that, yo. I don't get that at all, Gifted.
I don't know if I'm ride or die for anyone
Ride or
in
die
the
for
NBA.
my family. Yeah.
Like, I like Steph Curry a lot. I'm not going to crash out over Steph Curry, though. I'm just not doing it.
Now, you've crashed out before. Don't act. I've seen you crash out, sir. I have seen you crash out.
Name a time.
Man, I think that the first time when I seen you when you was talking with Lowe on Let's Keep It a Buck. Bro, you over here arguing, debating with Lowe, and you sweating bullets about Stephen Curry and the Warriors.
Okay, that's not fair. It's not fair.
Oh, it's not fair. Just shut up.
There's context. No. There's context that you're missing. The context is the prize money was $250. And I was sitting there going through round after round after round. They basically did it like the playoffs, to where you would challenge content creators until you got to the finals. Lowe was in the finals. So I had made it to that point. It was hot as hell in Detroit. My air wasn't working. So I was sweating and I was getting my shit off.
No. You can't use that. You can't sit here and say
I'm not using that.
That's context. I seen you screaming. I seen you. No, you don't do that. That's not what it is. And you over here got your towel and shit.
Yes.
You over here wiping yourself. I'm like, come on.
It's very important to work the crowd. I did not crash out. It's very important to work the crowd. That's what I did, man.
But you crashed out. You crashed out to work the crowd.
I was not a crash out at all. I was locked in.
But I caught some of the panel this morning, and then bro, like, let's be honest here with the James Harden stuff. Stop trying to give this man some leeway, bro. Like, honestly, man. I don't want to hear it, because when James Harden, because really it's like James Harden does it to himself. When James Harden sits here and says things like, I'm the system. When James Harden sits here is worried about the money, complains about working around Joel Embiid last year, and now he has a position to sit here and, without Kawhi, be that same guy that he thinks he is, for him to go for, 2 for 12 or 2 for 10? He deserves that cooking. He deserves that cooking 1,000%, especially with the way that he has acted.
Who said he didn't deserve that, though? Like, I said he played bad for sure. I agree with that. I just don't think that shortchanging that to James Harden doesn't perform when it matters is kind of crazy, considering the fact that for a lot of the series, he's been the best player.
I mean, but what hit the most? What hit the most? The game that just happened that hit the most.
No, okay, listen.
That's who I'm not gonna lie, bro. James Harden.
What about the game before this one? That was an all-time classic where Kyrie had 40. Bro, James Harden and Kyrie was trading.
The Clippers shot like 60% from 3, bro.
Okay, but were the Mavericks not coming back in the game and they needed James Harden and Paul George overall to win that game, though?
Nah, he did well in that fourth quarter. I think you can't even deny that. But it's the last ones that matters the most, Gifted. You know this. Like, that game, it was a great game for him for sure. And even then, like, it's not like he's incapable of that, because game 1 against the Celtics last year was it game 4, I believe. Game 4 was another one. But then there's also other ones where we've seen events like he had last night. So that's the James Harden where, at an older age, that's just going to be more and more of a common theme. I do want to talk about, I think Jason Kidd has watched my stream when I was cooking him yesterday, because the fact that he was having Lively out there a bit more.
Yeah, more size on the floor and whatnot, yeah.
Oh, my God. It was that's exactly what they needed. And honestly, they're going to How do you feel about this? You think they're gonna clap him up in 6? No Diddy?
So my prediction before the series was Mavericks in 6 because I wasn't sure of Kawhi's health, and I didn't think that you could rely on what the Clippers offense will look like, which is James Harden and Paul George for a full overall series. I do think the Mavericks probably close it out, but the Clippers are such a weird team because they can shoot like 12% from 3 or shoot like 60% from 3 on high volume. So they're a very high variance team. But with the adjustment of having more size on the floor, it made James Harden's lanes to the basket harder. But at the same time, Dub, you've seen it. James Harden will touch the paint, kick. They couldn't make no damn shots. If they're not hitting shots, they're going to lose.
Yeah, the thing is why even when the Clippers beat the Dallas Mavericks the last game, I'm not going to lie, Gifted, I wasn't worried because in my head, I'm like, bro, it took y'all shooting 60% from 3. Not 50, not 40, 60% from 3.
Yep.
For y'all to win a nail biter, right? So in my head, I'm like, nah, this Clippers crew, I mean, it's what I've been saying all year, and I think even you agree, where this trade for James Harden was a desperate move, and it was a desperate move to try to capitalize on the time frame that they have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George because they're getting older and Kawhi's always hurt.
And then Kawhi missed the whole postseason.
And Kawhi missed another postseason. So,
yeah.
My whole thing, but I think you said something on the panel. Bro, why does Paul George, for some reason, never get any criticism when he's fucking terrible?
He gets no criticism. And it's like, he has 2 games in a series where it's like, Paul George, where were you on both ends of the court damn near? Like, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to put a lot of this on Harden individually when everyone in the game was dog shit. Russell Westbrook is 6 for 45 in the series. 6 for 45, Dub? No. 6 made shots, 45 attempted shots for a series.
That's Paul George?
That's Russell Westbrook.
So no. Let's not do that with Russ because I kind of expected that. The man is older, and Tyronn Lue
is not using him right.
He does a terrible, and I mean terrible job of utilizing Russell Westbrook. Mainly because, bro, I'm sorry. You cannot have Russell Westbrook out on the court and just put him in the corner. Or when he's off ball, just standing at 3-point line. They're not going to respect him. They're not. Get him in some cutting action. Get him in, maybe even some pick and rolls where him
use him as a screener in the pick and roll. I've been asking for Tyler to do that for some time now. And I hear all that, but I'm telling you, man, how much of an offensive negative he is really wild at this point of his career where it's like, if he's not a screener, why is he playing damn near? Now, his defense has been pretty good this whole series, but you cannot go 6 for 45 and be productive. It's not going to work like that. So
but the thing is, you can have him out there because he does a lot of other things, like being a hustle player, rebounds, because he has some timely rebounds that matters a lot.
I agree with that.
Capable of doing that as well. And even then, when your team is on a run and you're pushing the pace, like that's when Russ is at his best because then he just starts feeding around off of everybody, right? But Tyronn Lue, man, I mean, people want to gas him up as his coach, bro. And even though we was talking about it with Jalen the other night, bro, he's not utilizing Russell Westbrook properly. I agree. And I don't like it. You
shouldn't be playing Westbrook with Harden and also Mason Plumlee. They're not good lineups.
Hell no. At least put Daniel Tice out there at the 5, so maybe there's some shooting. But Russ right now, I think he's still a great bench option. But like you said, man, the role in which they have him right now,
god awful, man.
Get the frick out. So I can't. So like, I'm not gonna lie, Gifted. So you expect me to cook him for 6 for 45?
No,
it's like,
yes.
Bro, we already know.
Yeah,
we already know he's an inefficient guy. So how do you think he's gonna be? How do you think he's gonna fare when he's older and being used improperly?
Dub, I hear everything you're saying, and I do believe Russ is being used wrong. That being said, 6 for 45 when the majority of your shots are 2s is crazy. That's a crazy look. Six made baskets where half of those 6 are 3s, and you're not a good 3-point shooter.
That's not on him, bro.
Bro, a lot of that is on him. Because he's not that good as a player anymore.
You gotta shoot those shots. You literally have to shoot those shots.
Okay, but you can't go 6 for 45. That's ass.
I gotta tell the coach to put him in a better position, man.
Man, okay.
Because he's a role player at this moment, right? He's a role player at this moment, and he's being used terrible for the role that he's supposed to be playing.
But he's still the one shooting the shots, though, is my thing.
Yeah, like, but who else is going to shoot them, though, Gifted? Somebody has to shoot the shot.
Not him. Norman Powell, now you take 15 shots a game. You're not going 6 for 45. Dub, at one point last night, he was 0 for 10.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know how bad it is as an NBA player in the playoffs to go 0 for 10?
Yeah, but the whole thing is Gifted is like, let's say if that's like the quality looks, because those are the looks that you got at that moment in time, right? That open mid range or that open three, and nothing really's been getting open through the whole possession.
Open layups when he's getting to the paint and not finishing, wide open layups.
Yeah. Those are bad, man.
Those are bad. Like bro, you wide open at the cup and you beating the shit out the backboard.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous, bro.
I'm just saying, bro.
I mean, he's older though. We know this. Like, that's my thing. He was already an inefficient player.
I agree.
Like, even in his prime. So why are we harping so much on his inefficiencies when he wasn't efficient like that in the postseason to begin with, even in his prime, and now he's older in a terrible role?
Well, because he wasn't 6 for 35 bad. It's a different level of bad, bro. 45 shots. 45 shots in 5 games, and you only made 6.
Honestly, you know what it is, Gifted? Just because I expected it, that's why it's like I'm not tripping off of it.
You did not expect no damn 6 to 45.
Well, I expected him to be inefficient. I expected him to be inefficient.
I did too, but you did not expect him to only make 6 out of 45 shots. If I told you randomly Russ took 45 shots, and I asked you to guess how many of those shots he made through 5 games, you would not say 6.
Bro, Russ has done a lot of things that we didn't expect, man. So why are we going to be surprised when he does get expected?
Oh my God. That's nasty. That's actually nasty.
That's right true, though. That's true.
You're not wrong.
So, like, he's always, but, you know, even though we're talking about Russ, bro, we still got to talk about PG more.
No, Paul George.
This guy's terrible.
Yeah. Now, granted, I give him his credit because at the beginning of the series, he was showing up. But then in game 3 and game 5, he played awful. Awful. I'm talking about settling for shots, not being aggressive in attack mode, kind of just being out there, which is tough. You can't have that, especially if your best player, Kawhi, is not going to play.
Yeah, and PG, bro, in my head is like, it's almost as if he's content with this. Because I remember even on his podcast, oh, man, I'm not a 2 no more. I mean, I'm not really a 1 no more, so I'm fine with being a 2.
I remember saying that, yeah.
But, bro, they need you to be a 1 right now. Like, that's what this team needs you to be. But sometimes I think, and we could talk about the mentality of things sometimes. That laid back, cool persona, bro, that's a blessing and a curse to me, man. Because in a blessing in a way where you could be very portable in multiple scenarios where not too many things is going to go, like, not too many things is going to go wrong chemistry-wise because of you, right?
Right.
But at the same time, when you're that laid back, that also calls for, I think, some mentality issues to where you're not executing properly. You're not knowing if you should be aggressive. You're not knowing if you should be that guy. You're not knowing if you should be the one to sit here and take this team over and take the team by storm, right? Because you're so laid back. I think that's a big part of the reason why JT struggles still. And Jaylen Brown, it took them a little minute for them to get used to each other because of that laid back persona. And both of them are guys that I don't think is trying to step on anybody's toes, right? Kevin Durant can also be an example of this, where there's sometimes especially when he's playing with Russell Westbrook, you know, him not really want to take too much away from somebody. It can hurt the overall team's performance.
Or Devin Booker and Bradley Beal.
Devin Booker and Bradley Beal is another perfect example. That laid back persona is a blessing and a curse because you can, at the same time, you can be very portable with so many people. If they need you to be that guy, you can't be it. Because you don't even know when to be it.
That's a real thing, man. I really feel like the mentality for Paul George is what you question. he has too many games where he shoots like 4 for 13, and that's all. He's not consistently trying to get downhill or play bully. He's very perimeter jump shot reliant, and sometimes if his jumper isn't falling, he just falls apart and doesn't really produce. And Harden and Paul George collectively both showed up in game 5.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, game 4. This game 5, they did not. So now it's like, okay, in game 6, what is the mentality Paul George is going to have knowing Kawhi is not going to be there? Are you going to just shoot 4 to 5 shots and calm down, or are you going to go out shooting with aggression, with purpose, with the mindset to make the right overall decisions? What are you going to do with that? That becomes the new question we got to ask ourselves. And I don't know. I lean Mavericks because Kyrie, he's in attack mode all game long. Where, okay, I have 14 points last night, but my creation and my passes, I'm still creating advantages. I'm not just out of nowhere, you can't find me. That's the question.
And that's a beautiful thing about Kyrie Irving in his game. Because at the same time, he's very laid back. He knows when he needs to take over.
Exactly.
He knows when he needs to be that guy. He knows when it's time for him to, you know what, Luka, you off right now. I need to make plays for this team. And he's done that with LeBron as well. He's done that even with Kevin Durant and every other person that he's really played with. That maybe not in the postseason, but in the regular season, right? For Kevin Durant. So Kyrie is a guy where in terms of a number 2, he's one of the most perfect number 2s for anybody in NBA history. If not probably a top 5 number 2 option ever in NBA history, because of that understanding of, you know what, I can feed off my main guy, but I also have the ego and the stones to know when it's my time to take over for this crew right here.
It's the perfect balance of both styles. And I would say, to Kyrie's credit, he's easily one of the most portable players in the league because he can fit with Luka, he can fit with LeBron, he can fit with KD and James Harden, and it works. And there's really no questions about it. So I'm happy to see him performing.
I forgot about this, sir. I got to hear what you got to say about Sir Kyrie Irving and how he's been playing in this postseason series.
Am I supposed to apologize? Like what?
You should. I
don't think so.
You should. Why not?
Because he's cooking the Clippers without Kawhi. Like, sure.
Still a good defense.
Great. No.
Clippers are still a good defense, bro.
Without Kawhi, their defense falls off a hill.
Nah, you got to cut that out. Because I've seen how they've been playing defense on Luka. I think they've been phenomenal. I think Man has been solid. I think Russ has been solid. I think PJ, because in terms of they're able to be there enough so that the help can come, and they get into them, like they pickpocket them a lot. Yeah. And they make it so that, they got to shift a bit more. The turnover, it's really been a struggle for Luka and Kyrie at times because that's something they're not generally used to, guys, like the whole entire team just ready to just sit here and help, but then recover on the defender, And they got so much length and size that, they're able to throw them off balance and some turnovers because of that. It just throws them off, bro. I'm not going to lie. It's tough to adjust to. I think they've been doing a really good job defensively, apart from last game. Last game, they were just getting cooked left and right.
I feel like with Luka, though, a lot of what's been happening is he's been settling for contested shots more, and he's not really creating the same type of separation in space to get to the basket. That's why I think for the series, he hasn't been like a top 3 player. Like Paul George, Kyrie Irving, and Harden have outplayed Luka. And I know Luka is putting up crazy numbers, but again, if you remember game 1 like I do, James Harden was hunting Luka defensively. And the reason why they blew him out in game 1 is because they were finding 3-point shooters, creating really, 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 really good offense. And then Kyrie would drop 20 points in the quarter, but then Paul George is still hitting those shots to keep them ahead. Luka is now starting to find rhythm, which is scary because these last 2 games for Luka, he's now starting to play like the top 3 player we thought he was.
I wouldn't say Paul George was better than him. Maybe I can give you Kyrie and James, but Paul George to me, nah, because even despite Luka struggling, and even though his shot selection is terrible, I'm not gonna lie, his shot selection is god awful.
Isn't pretty awful.
He does create tons of disadvantages for defenses. And he's still able, even despite him struggling, he's still able to capitalize onto that. So I think that's something that Paul George, he's not. I haven't seen that from him in the series. I just think him playing off of Harden, he's been good in some isolation spots and some spot up shots, but more good than bad offensively for me. Playmaking wise, don't really see too much playmaking from Paul George, maybe here and there, but we all know the main guy is James Harden, who's creating advantages for his teammates. So it's like,
I think the gap between how efficient Luka has been, because again, like the amount of like shots that he's taken in the series, the reason why he has like 29, 30s or whatever, because he had games where he's shooting 7 for 25 from the field. And it's like when you're that inefficient shooting the basketball, and also there's multiple games where the reason why the Clippers are blowing you guys out so quickly is because they're hunting the Luka switch. The Mavs struggle to communicate properly, and trying to get Luka off of the main point of attack, they give up corner threes. And that's why, okay, shit, we're down 19 points.
Well,
we're down
the games they
25
lost,
points.
The funny thing is, both the games they lost, I more look at Luka in the first quarter.
Agreed.
Luka in the and I will say that Luka in that first quarter single-handedly lost them both.
A big part of why they got up to that high-ass lead. Yeah.
Yes. He single-handedly lost them both of that game. So I can understand that. But outside of that, he was like, especially in game one, he did everything he can to make up for that because he was cooking outside of all those other quarters. I can't even deny that. Not so much on the last time, but I know the first game, he definitely started cooking when they were down. But by then it was too much too late, you know?
Yeah.
But the last game, I can sit here and understand more. To me, Paul George.
Last game, Luka really popped out.
Mm-hmm. To me, Paul George hasn't done enough to put him over Luka. And even though if Luka has another game, I don't think James Harden has either. Because, bro, I'm not going to lie, man. Jason Kidd better not do no shit like this against the Nuggets. Because if you don't be playing your bigs like Derek Lively out there enough, bro, I'm going to be livid. Derek Lively has been tremendous this series.
He's been very good in this series when he's played.
Yes, and he only
I agree.
Ticket. My bad.
Ticket. That's crazy.
No, bro, but when he's only playing, like, bro, I swear he watched it. He played 25 minutes last night. That's the most minutes he's played the whole entire series. Most minutes. Majority of the time is like 19, 21, 15. When you have Daniel Gafford out there, just getting bodied. Bro, yo, I'm not gonna lie, Jason Kidd, you gotta cut that shit out, man. I get Gafford is older than Derek Lively, so you want to give him that respect. But at the end of the day, Derek Lively has been your starting center for the majority of the season. Derek Lively has been the guy that's really been promising for you for this whole entire season. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm putting Derek Lively in the starting lineup because him in the starting lineup against a team like the Nuggets is gonna be crucial. But
that's even if they make it to the Nuggets, though, because if they make it out of this series, they're playing OKC.
I swear.
Yeah.
I swear you need to play Derek Lively. Because if Derek Lively's playing right there with Chet, that's length and physicality that he brings.
Boy, Chet might be a crazy-ass mismatch for him, though. I don't know, man.
No. Why you say
that? On the three-point line, he's going to space him out.
No, he'll space him out. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of matching up with him head-to-head, Derek Lively is going to be fine guarding him. Perfectly fine. Well, maybe, you know what's so crazy, actually? Now that I think about it, you may be right. Because I do think Gafford's more mobile than him. So maybe Gafford might have a better series, especially defensively in that series against the Thunder.
It's all about matchups at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like, my thing is, this series has been funny because we've seen great defense and bad defense from both teams. And I just feel like whatever team plays OKC next round, I do believe OKC is going to be the better team just because of the size and the shooting. I got OKC personally.
You got OKC winning. Wait, size? What's size? They don't got size like that. They only got Chet.
No, but size in terms of their wing presences and their offensive advantages. Chet.
You throwing me off here, buddy.
Okay, Chet, right. You have Shea and Chet, 2-man games, with J-Dub, 1 pass away, versus a Mavericks team that has Who in their front court?
Luka, Kyrie. No, front court. Derek Lively and Maxi Kleber.
Right. So you would have Maxi at the 5, right?
Depending. Okay. It depends. It depends on what we're doing. You got Derrick Jones Jr. who can run the 4 maybe instead of Maxi. It really depends. It depends on what lineup they have at the moment.
Okay. Who's the cover on Shea?
That's probably going to be Josh Green or Derrick Jones Jr.
Got it. So Derrick Jones Jr. has been able to be more impactful in this series because Harden and also Paul George do not get to the rim, and they're not as quick twitch as what Shea is. I think Derrick Jones could get exposed having to guard Shea for a much longer time. Also, if you have Chet out there because of his spacing, if you don't respect it, not only can he shoot it, but the way that he's attacked closeouts to create quick passes to others, and the same thing with J-Dub, they're going to have a much harder time guarding them because they're going to actually get to the paint. There's only 2 guys on the Clippers who can get to the paint and actually create advantages. OKC has multiple guys who can do that.
Just J-Dub and Shea, basically what you're saying.
J-Dub, Shea, and Shea. All 3 of them can do it.
Who?
J-Dub, Chet, and Shea. All 3 of those players can do it.
I think Chet is good at maybe attacking closeouts, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Especially if I have Gafford there and Lively on him, I'm not really worried about him about rim pressure like that. I'm not even worried about him about maybe even killing them in the post. The main people I'm really looking at is J-Dub and Shea, and I hear it. But at the same time, I think Derrick Jones Jr. and whoever, like Josh Green probably, they can cheat a bit on defense. Or even Luka. They could cheat a bit on defense. Go under the screen. Let Shea take that pull-up jump shot that sometimes he fall, like sometimes he won't be trying to shoot sometimes. And you live with that. And you live with that right there. And you're going to meet him as soon as he cuts, as soon as he tries to cut right down to the lane. You're going to meet him right there, right off of that screen. And you'll be able to be fine, you know? I think Shea, and I think you're even worried about some of his scoring as well. I think Shea it'll be a great series, but it's not going to be as difficult.
I think it's going to be more difficult. And I say that because at least in the current series right now, Shea has had to deal with Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, right? Like other bulkier wings guarding him. If you're telling me that it's going to be Derrick Jones Jr., where you have J-Dub, who's going to be 1 pass away, who's been really, really prolific this entire run with the shooting that they have, and also the emergence of Cason Wallace as well. They have many threats that can shoot and, more importantly, touch the paint. The Clippers do not have that shot profile. Dallas only has that shot profile with Kyrie and Luka. We've seen it in this series alone. That Mavericks offense can be super inconsistent because their shooters are very streaky. OKC has downhill presence and guys who can shoot comfortably.
Well, the key here,
have to respect.
The key here would be Luka for me because
they should,
they would have swept them if Luka actually played like Luka. I'm not even gonna lie.
If he played like Luka, they would have swept them probably.
So Luka's key here, and with me, Luka Doncic going up against smaller wings here because even though they're pretty generally big, having bodies like maybe Lou Dort. Lou Dort is probably something that's a little bit sizable, but I don't think he's as strong as PG.
Okay.
Maybe I think the size of the Clippers, specifically at the wings and guarding Luka in that series, was a challenge to him. And I think that Luka will probably have an easier time dealing with this OKC crew rather than the Clippers crew that they have right now.
I can see that argument.
Because outside of Lou Dort, I think every single one he's taking advantage of easily.
Yeah,
easily to me. Like not even up for debate. Like he is going to cook that matchup. So offensively, and then what, you're gonna have Lou Dort, then who's gonna be guarding Kyrie?
You have Lou Dort on Luka. You probably have J-Dub in spurts on Kyrie, and you probably also have Cason Wallace on Kyrie too.
Yeah, I may be gassing about the PG strength. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm gassing that just a tad bit. I'll admit to that. But yeah, I don't believe in any of those other guys to be able to guard Kyrie Irving as well. So they're going to be creating a bunch of disadvantages as well. And especially
I'm more so speaking to like I think OKC will beat the Clippers because if Kawhi doesn't come back, fine. But if they're matching up with Dallas again, the question is Shea's rim pressure versus Luka's rim pressure. And all I can say is Shea, against better competition defensively, has been able to get to the paint still and create. And J-Dub has been elite in the playoffs so far.
It's not even just about rim pressure, though. Because no, it's not even because Kyrie can generate that at a very good level because he creates great plays that way too. And even though Luka, if he gets that switch and Lu Dort off of him, bro, when he gets in the post, he sits here and sees those lanes right there and see people get open when he's at that baseline, posting up whoever's a smaller defender. They're going to try to rotate to help, and he's cooking those guys off of those actions right there. So it's not even just about the rim pressure of like Luka Doncic. It's about the post presence that he demands when he has smaller defenders on him that I think we're going to see more of in that OKC series. And when we get the, what's it called? The Derek Lively pick and rolls, bro. I love, bro.
Listen, that shit sounds great, but I'm telling you right now, when you have Shea, Chet, and J-Dub down the stretch, when both teams are going small, they're going to go with Maxi Kleber at the 5 because he's a bit more rangier. Because if they don't, I really feel like that Shea gets a rim touch is going to be a problem for them to consistently guard. Because I promise you, DJJ cannot guard Shea for an entire game and have complete success for that playoff series.
Well, it's gonna be an offensive series. It's about who can make some more timely stops. And I do think it would be an easier time for Dallas to slow down OKC than the other way around. Because Chet to me is like, bro, even though there's been games where he's been playing what's his name off the court, there's also games where he's shooting 1 for 7 from 3. There's also games where he's shooting 1 for 4 from 3. I'm talking about the Pelican. I'm talking about the Pelican series, right? Yeah. So like offensively, specifically in the last 2 games, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm kind of living with that a bit. I'm kind of cheating with that a bit, and I have Lively and Gafford down there to send the help because at this point, I mean, Chet got to prove to me he could really hit that.
Have you seen Chet in the playoffs? He's been in that.
No, he hit that for like game 2, bro. He hit that for game 2, bro. The last 2 games have been terrible for him. He's combined 2 for 11.
And have you seen the other shooters come to play for OK? I'm just saying, as a team, their floors offensively
I'm not talking
is a much higher floor than
The other shooters is great. My thing is when you're talking about Cleaver at the 5 minutes, they're gonna have to play him because of Chet sitting here shooting the 3 ball.
Yeah.
Nah, I think they can cheat with Chet.
All right,
I think listen, they can.
Chet's gonna burn you alive playing that. I promise you he will. And more than anything, again, Shea with his quick twitch, with the way he draws fouls, and more importantly, the athletes and shooters that they have, I just think OKC is going to overpower them in a full series. You're heavily relying on Luka and Kyrie masterclasses to get through the series, but the floor of the role players OKC has is just better than whatever Dallas has to offer.
Oh no, their floor, I don't think they have to put on masterclasses because even though I can understand their floor is higher, the floor of the Dallas Mavericks isn't that low to me. I think they have a very good amount of role players that can step up. Derrick Jones Jr.
So perfect. All right, how about this? Let's take out Shea, Chet, and let's get rid of Kyrie, Luka. And let's go from there. Who are you relying on the most?
Well, I just agreed with you. I said the floor of OKC is higher. I think there's no disputing that. Okay. But I'm saying the floor isn't low enough to me to where Kyrie and Luka need to be having masterclasses in order for them to win this series. I think they have to they need to be at least around themselves. Not masterclasses, but my Kyrie Irving 22, 23 a game or like 48, 47, like 50% and like 36, 37% from 3, along with great playmaking. Luka Doncic, Luka, you can't do what the fuck you just did in this Clipper series. That's
no, you cannot.
You can't do that. You can't do that at all. If you do that right there, I can understand you gifted and saying, yeah, the OKC got this. But if
Luka plays like how we think he should be able to play, this is a different series of what I'm thinking. But I'm just going off of like that we know the fact that he's kind of compromised right now, so he's not operating like the full Luka that we know, which is why I feel like OKC has favor. Plus, think about all the rest OKC is already getting while they're still playing the Clippers right now too. Like, I just trust the execution of this OKC team more consistently because they have better overall role players and they are much better coached. So I think those are the things that edge it out to be OKC over Dallas in my mind. If you want to say, well, I trust Luka and Kyrie as a 10 or more, I can hear that. But I really feel like the talent and what Shea is and who the other team is, I think because of that, is what will get them past Dallas Mavericks, in my opinion. We still got to see it, but I do believe in that.
Hayes, what you got to say, man? We're talking about OKC versus the Thunder. I mean, no. OKC versus
he said OKC versus the Thunder.
Listen,
as a possible matchup?
Ass, bro. Yeah.
You know how I feel about Shea. I get it. Lucas had a hell of an end of the season. He's had a solid playoffs, but I don't know. I couldn't pick Dallas over OKC, in my opinion. OKC is just too good, too versatile. They got too many weapons, and I just don't know if I've seen, even with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford and whatnot, I don't know if I've seen enough from Dallas where I will pick them. I'm not saying that the Thunder are going to sweep them or anything, but overall in that series, I'm going to pick OKC Thunder over the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, I guess I'm alone up here, man. Shit. But it is. It is what it is, though. You know. You want to talk? I don't want to talk about this though, Gifted.
I'm listening, man.
You can introduce the next one, man. Whatever you got on your plan. I'm trying my best to stay away from the title. I don't want to talk about this at all.
All right, I'm gonna just break the ice, man. The Boston Celtics have officially moved on to the second round. They beat a team that wears the color red. That team lost. Yeah, man. Porzingis got injured during the series, which is tough. Apparently, he will not be back for round 2, if that's the case. So that puts more pressure on the Cleveland or Orlando to really try to make that a series as much as possible. But yeah, the Heat were not expected to do anything in this series. So the fact that they got a game, to me, that's very admirable. It speaks to the Heat culture and, Spoelstra. But my God, y'all got blitzed in many a game. Like
almost every single one besides the last one. I mean, besides the one we won. Blowout after blowout after blowout.
Yeah.
After blowout. And it's like, bro, I mean, we were clearly outmatched, especially when we trade for a guy like Terry Rozier, who's supposed to be giving us more offensive options.
I mean, that neck injury really got to him. Yeah.
I mean, what the hell can we do? And then Jimmy Butler not being there, bro. The Jimmy Butler era is over, man.
Oh, sidebar. Did you hear about the money he's looking for?
Yes. That's why I say it's over. I'm not sure if Pat Riley's going to pay that because I've seen how he handled Dwayne Wade. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pay that for a guy.
That's a really good point.
That's a really good point.
Really good.
He was not doing that with Wade.
Yeah.
So in my head is like,
I mean, but like, did he learn from that situation and is going to do it for Jimmy, who's like actively taking him further without LeBron? Or
what did he just in Pat Riley's mind? Like, what negatives did he get from not paying Dwayne Wade?
He did say that he wished that he would have brought him back.
But that was for personal reasons, right?
And I think that may be the thing that could determine the difference here. Is like, don't get me wrong, he coaches absolutely a thing, but it's like Jimmy Butler is a player that perfectly just brings that together of what he culture is. Like, I'm not saying that he's just going to be willing to pay whatever to keep Jimmy, but it's going to be hard. I'm going to be hard pressed to believe that Jimmy isn't going to be back in the Heat uniform. And that may be also that Jimmy may actually take a little bit less as well. I know that the rumor about what he wants, but like, none of the teams Jimmy Butler's been on has embraced him as much as the Heat have.
It's only been the Heat who have really fit him like a glove. But that's why I think a deal's going to get done because I still feel like regardless, the value Jimmy has on that franchise when it matters is significant. They've had a ton of success. He was a guy that they just signed and didn't expect him to be the main guy behind them going to 2 NBA finals. And I feel like you have to build off of that and not just give up on that path. Because if not, it's like, okay, are we building like, okay, if you don't pay Jimmy, are you building through Bam at that point as your best player?
Yes. That's what we're going to have to do. There's no other option. So it's going to be basically a repeat of what happened when Chris Bosh and them left. We're going to get some good role players, some good guys who probably has some potential. And we're just going to be a playoff contending team. And that's it. The thing with, I'm not sure if Pat Riley is going to be like, okay, I mistreated Dwayne Wade. I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to do the same for Jimmy Butler, mainly because the way I look at it, if Jimmy Butler's not going to budge with that contract, it's like, bro, even if I think about it, you've been hurt for 3 straight years now. You got hurt in 2022 when we could have made the finals. You got hurt last season when we made the finals. Yeah. And you were hurt the whole time playing. And then this time, you couldn't play at all because you were hurt. So I'm looking at it like, bro, I love you and everything. But at the end of the day, how can I buy your stock like that if every time when we really needed you the most, you had injuries to hinder your game or you couldn't perform at all? Like, how am I? And you're 34, 35 years old, bro? It's just going to get worse.
I mean, the only bail that I can give
move forward building around Bam when Bam only has 1 year left on his contract too. Like, either you're going to re-sign Jimmy and try to keep this going, or you're going to let Jimmy walk and then probably let Bam walk the subsequent year and actually go into a rebuild.
Well, they'll probably pay Bam. I'm pretty sure they will pay Bam.
They're going to pay Bam for sure. But like, my thing is, Jimmy is asking for 2 years. So like, I feel like, yes, that's a lot of money, but it's worse if he wants that for a 4-year deal. A 2-year contract is like, okay, for 2 years, we make our final run with these guys. We try to further develop our role players. We signed Terry Rozier. Let's see what he does in year 2 and try to see what contracts we can trade to improve this team. And we not have a solid 2-year window with Jimmy and Bam as their best players. I think that makes sense.
It does. Go ahead, Hayes. Go ahead.
No,
Hayes.
I'm saying that does make a lot of sense, especially when you look at the cap situation with that. You lock Jimmy in for 2 years. If you can get him to even be a player option on that, like, there's a lot of different variations. But if it's a 2-year deal, regardless of the money, I could see Pat Riley doing that.
Only 2 years. If it's 4,
if 2 years,
different
if it's
combo.
4, then no. 2 years, right. Yeah, I can see that happen.
I don't know, bro. He's done a lot that I didn't think he was gonna do. I just told Gifted about Pat Riley was asleep for the phone call to get rid of Kyle Lowry. So who knows? Who knows what goes on in his head, man? So I mean, we'll see. Wrong. But my whole thing is with me knowing the type of, like, he's objective. Like, and you can tell, like, he tries his best to be as objective as possible in making decisions. And objectively speaking, bro, I just don't see a world where you pay a guy like Jimmy Butler that much money right now. Because what have we seen, even though it's only 2 years, and I get that it's only 2 years, what have we seen before? As soon as those motherfuckers got paid, fell off. CP3. As soon as he got paid.
Christ, man.
Fell off, bro.
Bane of my existence, bro.
Bradley Beal, as soon as he got that contract, he started getting hurt a lot.
No, I'm sorry. Don't bring up Bradley Beal. The Wizards should have never, ever, he was never deserving of a $250 million contract with a no trade clause.
I'm not gonna lie, Gifted. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Because in my head, bro,
agreed,
like,
bro.
In my head, all right, you give the man a contract because he's loyal to the soil, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you fucking trade him. Like, there's
after giving him a no trade clause, yeah.
There's no way you as a team is gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna trade Bradley Beal because this is a guy that he's just so loyal to the soil, and then you freaking trade him.
Are you ready for the dumber part? Are you ready for, like, the even dumber part? And this might make Hayes laugh a little bit, right? They chose to trade Bradley Beal after Victor Wembanyama was drafted, not before, not the season before, right? So they could tank and maybe get Wemby. They chose to give up and tank after the fact. So now for this year, where people say this draft isn't that great, now they want a high draft pick compared to this last draft where they could have had Wemby. So not only did you overpay, but then you also traded him too late. Like, it was a bad front office move. And now the Suns, which again, I kind of predicted this, the Suns are now stuck with Bradley Beal's contract, and he's actively hamstringing that roster into getting better. That's rough.
Yes. And now they're putting that money into Grayson Allen, KD still got to get
Had
paid.
to. Yeah.
Devin Booker. And it's like, bro, the Suns front office have no choice but to ride this out. And it's like, bro, I know Washington is happy Beal is gone. Why? Because of that contract? I'm not going to lie. Gifted, if we're going to be this bad, I might as well just keep Bradley Beal. If we were going to be this bad, I might as well just kept Bradley Beal. Why not?
It's not real value they got from trading his contract anyway. It was just a bad decision. There's no winning for Washington right now. So, they're kind of cooked. Hey, man,
remember when Beal was a superstar? I hated those talks.
He never was. Ever in his life. Never. I mean, listen, he averaged 30 points. That's cool, but like at his peak, he still wasn't like a top 5 player.
He wasn't even like the best scorer in the league.
He wasn't. No.
He wasn't even a better scorer than Kyrie to me.
I'm not mad at you saying that because he was mainly a downhill guy, which is crazy because initially as a role player, he's one of the best shooters in the NBA, but his 30 points per game seasons, he wasn't a great 3-point shooter.
Nah, he was just chucking, bro. He was just chucking. But chucking because he's on the Wizards. He had nowhere else to be, man. Yeah. Hayes, you got anything on the agenda, man?
On what, the topic list?
Yeah, man.
I'm not the host today. I wasn't prepared for that. What?
Me neither. Neither.
Jalen got business to take care of. He probably somewhere singing to somebody, oiling up his body with baby oil in the shower. Like I could just see.
Hey, he telling that girl about LeBron, man. Yeah.
No, he telling her about Drake. He's that and LeBron. Like, yeah, he's definitely.
He talking to her about Drake with Bron highlights in the background. But even though Jalen's not here right now, man, I got something that like I really. So here's what I want to ask you again. I personally, y'all might disagree, but I personally feel like the Denver Timberwolves series is going to be the best playoff series of this year's playoffs. Here's my question. If you are the general manager for Minnesota, if they compete versus Denver but lose, is that enough for you to feel like we can go into the second apron and give this team one more shot next year? Because I feel like how the playoffs have played out, it's clear that they are at worst the second best team in the playoffs to me. And it's like, do you give up on that because of money reasons, or do you stick it out for at least one more season and see how the pieces fit?
One more.
I agree.
Mainly because last year they got swept. Last year they got swept without Naz Reid and without Jaden McDaniels, and they still did a pretty good job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ant-Man, I think they all is a team that they're getting more and more used to each other, and they're getting more and more close with each other. And I think chemistry matters. So I think running one more year, see how everything goes. And I think the true X factor in this series is going to be how Cat performs.
100%.
I think we know what Ant's going to do. I think Ant's going to be great. I think he's going to be phenomenal. Maybe 1 or 2 games where he's going to be inefficient, but more good than bad. Cat being able to cause mismatch problems because he's so much bigger, even though Aaron Gordon is a great defender. By the end of the day, Cat's much more bigger than him. He has a lot more size, and he's actually a pretty good post player. Him causing disadvantages in that way to give the Nuggets some issues, that's something that's going to be key in this series. That's what they were doing to the Suns, and how, especially with him shooting the 3-ball, and they couldn't match up for it. It was too much size on them. They can't let Aaron Gordon do what he did against the Lakers and just grab so many boards and back cuts and everything like that. But I don't think that same thing is going to happen. And Rudy, I'm not going to lie, Rudy, you got to look at that matchup right now and really stamp your legacy and defensively, man. You got to look at Jokic and like, nah, I will not allow you to dog walk me again.
See, I think for this series, what matters most is you need to see Cat not pick up fouls as much. And to be honest, I'm putting Cat on Jokic and I'm putting Rudy Gobert on Gordon. Because my thing is, you need to cut off the other ancillary players. To me, what goes unsung about that first round, Denver was not that great in that first round. Jamal Murray had many off games. He picked it up in the fourth quarter, but in terms of like a consistent body of work, he wasn't really producing that, right? Michael Porter Jr. averaged like 25. Michael Porter Jr. to a lot of people looked like KD in that series. So if it's me, right, what I would say is Denver really only has 3.5 good shooters that you have to respect. I'm putting Jaden McDaniels on MPJ so we can shut off that whole off-ball action. Their most reliable shooter is now X'd out of the series now, right? And then I'm using Anthony Edwards and his two-way ability on Murray with shades of Naz Reid sometimes on switches, and more importantly, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And to me, they have the size to hang with Denver on the boards, and Cat has the foot speed to stay with Jokic. It's just about the foul trouble. That's my biggest question. Because Cat can still be a mismatch nightmare. Because, again, with Cat's spacing and what Anthony Edwards does in terms of getting to the basket, that is a matchup nightmare for Nikola Jokic. They just have to really specialize in those areas to really make it mean something.
What you got to say, Hayes?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Minnesota has more of a chance of what people are going to generally give them in this series for sure. I think what they're able to do defensively is gonna cause nightmares, especially out on the perimeter for a team like the Denver Nuggets. But I mean, Jokic is Jokic, man, and you can only slow Jokic down, right?
He'll be the best player in the series regardless. I'm not worried about Jokic.
He's gonna be.
I'm thinking about everyone else.
You got to stop everyone else, and I think the Minnesota Timberwolves do have the roster where they can do enough to everyone else to make it interesting for sure. And if you let that Minnesota Timberwolves team defensively get to you, get easy buckets, get out in transition, it could get dangerous for you real quick. And this is going to be one of those games where everybody's now saying Anthony Edwards is the face of the league.
This is serious to prove it.
How much are you going to step up this series? How much are you going to look like that face of the league? This is a series that could really tell us that, because you're going up against a player like Jokic, who is easily walking to the series the best player in the series.
Easily.
My thing is, I think a key factor here, with the way that Ant and Mike Conley was shooting off of the pull-up screens against the Suns.
Great point.
If they're able to keep that up against the Nuggets, that's what kills the Nuggets. And teams, they haven't been facing teams that's able to been doing that in the last few years in the postseason to really get that pull-up shot to make Jokic get out even further, right? So if Mike Conley and Ant-Man is being able to replicate what they did against the Suns and force Jokic out, that's going to cause much more defensive issues for the Nuggets, to where when Jokic steps up, Ant-Man got a quick first step. So as soon as he sees him step up for that pull-up, he could just blow right by him, and there's nobody at the lane. And this kind of where Rudy Gobert, with him being an offensive liability, this kind of makes it better for him, because now he has more role options with Ant-Man, because Jokic needs to step so far out, you know? So I think that's something that's going to be very key in this series. If Mike Conley and Ant-Man still able to shoot like the way they were doing against the Suns, I mean, I got the Timberwolves too, bro.
I mean, but that's my thing with it, right? Because the level of shooting that they had, where Mike Conley could go 2 for 12 because Ant showed up, because Cat was a 3-point guy, right? Like, they have guys who can fit that role, but also the athleticism. I mean, what Jaden McDaniels was doing every time KD closed out on him, how he would just blow by, dunk the ball. Bring in that athletic factor where you're getting downhill and you're actually really stressing out Denver's defense. You're not overall trying to settle, and they don't have a crazy size advantage over you. Like, they look human because you're also extremely tall with more depth. Again, the depth piece is a big thing. Their bench is not productive. And at the same time, their starters, as good as their starters are, again, what Denver's produced in terms of their 3-point rate and guys hitting shots or not, it hasn't been that great. So imagine when they play a very good defense where there's not a Rui Hachimura who falls asleep on Michael Porter Jr. every single time. There's not a D'Angelo Russell who's allergic to playing defense, where you have guys 1 through 5 who are two-way players who can shoot or attack closeouts and pass. That is the difference. But what it comes down to as well, beyond Cat, is Anthony Edwards as a decision maker. Anthony Edwards as a ball handler down the stretch, where I'm not going to always settle for the pull-up shot. I'm going to get to the rim because Jokic is playing drop, or he's playing at the level. Let me burn through that and then create corner kick-out passes. Because Anthony Edwards in game 3 and 4 was making those reads, and that's why they won the game. They need that from Ant. This is a series where Ant can really stamp, I'm the best 2 guard. I'm the face, whatever. This is the series that he proves that, in my opinion.
I think so. Like, you look at what Anthony Edwards averaged so far in the postseason: 31 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and almost a block per game.
Hooper.
That's a hooper. Like, and they're going to need him to do a lot. Like, I know we talked about, like, no one's going to stop Jokic. Is there anyone, if Ant keeps playing like that, is there anyone on Denver who's going to stop Anthony Edwards?
I don't think they have a good matchup for Anthony Edwards, to be honest. I don't really see it. Like, I think they're going to probably have Gordon on Cat. I don't know who's guarding Ant.
KCP. KCP.
You know what? Yes, I forgot about that. They are going to put KCP on Ant. Yeah.
But even then, the screens from Rudy's, I'm not going to lie, Rudy's a good screen setter. So when he's getting killed on them screens, Rudy a big-ass body. Like I said, like Ant doesn't need a big window to hit that pull-up.
No.
And even then, when Rudy's rolling and Ant's taking that shot and Jokic has to cover, that's an easy offensive board for him.
I might go watch a game live because I really feel like this specific series is going to be a crazy series.
You're in Minnesota?
No, I'm in Detroit.
In his career, Anthony Edwards against KCP averages 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in 12 games against KCP. I'm not worried about KCP on Anthony. I'm not worried.
What's the percentages? What's the percentages?
I'll give KCP credit because he was guarding up. He was guarding up in that last series, but that took away from his legs offensively.
He averages 45% shooting against KCP.
Pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. So,
but that's because KCP is a genuine good defender. I just feel like if you're asking him to play defense against the best player consistently, that zaps his legs offensively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Dub. I'm sorry. When Ticket today was like Kelly Oubre is a elite perimeter defender, and he said you can't name 5 more. I'm like, are you serious?
Who said that?
Ticket.
Kelly
Oubre.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre's a good defender. Jalen was smoking in the last episode that we did.
Kelly's a good defender, though. He's a good defender.
A good defender? He's an active defender. He's not a good defender.
He's not better than Jalen Suggs defensively. Herb Jones.
He's not better than
Drew. No. There's a lot of defenders better than Kelly Oubre. You know, but yeah.
Wait, you don't think he a good defender, Hayes? Like, I'm not gonna say he's like this worldly defender, but
he's a serviceable defender.
He's a serviceable defender that can be active a little bit.
I think the next series he's been doing a phenomenal job.
He's been good. Yes. He's been good in that series as a body to be active. I agree. In terms of like being very good fundamentally, structure-wise, no.
Speaking of that series, how'd y'all feel about that crazy ass finish? Pause.
Bro, Tyrese Maxey, like his stock is rising severely because he single-handedly is the reason why they had so much overall success. Because it's like Embiid was needed. He was having a stinker game offensively. Nick Nurse was not making no goddamn adjustments. It was just Embiid post up versus Mitchell Robinson over and over and over. Tyrese said, we're not going home. I'm going to take these threes in transition. And with our season on the line, I'm going to make a bomb from damn near half court. And he made that shit. Like, he's the reason why they're even in this spot. I think for game 6, they need more from that, but they also need to get more from Joel Embiid. He had 50 points in this same series. I know that he's injured, so I'll give him grace on that, but they need more. I think they can make this go 7 games. I do believe that.
I don't know. How do you feel about that, Hayes?
About what?
About the Knicks and Sixers series.
It's difficult, right? Because like Philly has looked so good in certain areas of this series, but it's like anytime the Knicks go into a different level, like and you got to trust Embiid. Like, is Embiid going to stay healthy the rest of the series?
Listen, Embiid going to be what he's going to be. He's not healthy no matter what.
Like, yeah, I mean, we'll stay as close to. Is he going to play? That's because he's not healthy.
Oh yeah, yes.
Is he going to play the rest of the series? I guess is the better way to word that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the Knicks put this away in the next game tonight. I think they can go ahead and take care of business. I think you're going to see a Jalen Brunson that's motivated to get this done, put them away, and then just wait for the second round, bro.
I don't think that's crazy. I initially picked Knicks in 6 So I should just be saying Knicks right now. But again, like they have played them insanely close. The decision making has been the difference. Shoot, even the no call on Tyrese Maxey, where he got fouled on the ground and they got that last second bullshit up and won the game, basically. Like, that's how close these teams have played it. And I just feel like if Tyrese is that productive from the perimeter, it opens up Joel Embiid and makes the game easier. My biggest problem, though, Dub, is the Sixers can't rebound for shit. They get no rebounds. Like, how do you let Josh Hart have 2 points in the game, but he has great value because he has 17 rebounds as a guard in a playoff game?
That's the lack of personnel from the whole entire Philadelphia Sixers crew, right?
I agree.
And it's like,
I agree.
It's wild to me how important Joel Embiid is to this crew, especially when he's healthy, because we're not going to be talking about those things as much if Joel Embiid has the energy, if he has the conditioning, and if he has the health to be able to do it. And this is why I have so much respect for Joel Embiid, because we can see all of these issues with this Philadelphia Sixers crew. And let's not forget, in the beginning of the year, what was everyone saying? This team was a contender.
I didn't believe that shit, but yeah.
Okay, that's you. But everyone thought, a lot of people thought that this team right here was a team that needed to be feared, and they were a contender. And now, with the six, even now, with Embiid being what, 60%, bro, they have a possibility to push the second seed to 7 games.
Yeah, true.
Because of him, because of what he's able to do, being hurt. That's why when anybody want to talk shit about Joel Embiid, bro, fuck him.
And like they're severely worse without him. So even if you're saying, well, don't play, like Nurse had to play him pretty much every minute of the second half, because when he wasn't on the floor, they were getting cooked.
Exactly.
Cooked and destroyed. You know, and like even though his process I feel like was bad offensively, I don't think Nick Nurse did him any favors by calling the same shit every single play. Okay, and B, you're gonna post up on this left side here. And then we're going to let you post up Mitchell Robinson, who's very, very physical, who's going to be pushing on you, hitting you, getting steals here or there. And no one's going to cut. You're just going to post up. No one's going to cut. Ain't shit going to happen. You're just going to like post up over and over and over. And the only thing that built him out of that game was Tyrese Maxey's insane shot making. I need to see adjustments from Nick Nurse as a support system for Joel Embiid. We got to see that. If that doesn't happen, they will lose and go home tonight. I do believe that.
Hey, Jalen.
What's good? What's good?
Hope everything's well, brother.
Surviving.
Yes, sir. What's good with you, bro?
We good, you know. Long day work, had a little situation, and then, got back on time. I put in the group chat. My grandma fell, so I had to do a quick rush to the old hospital. But she
said it like you put it in there. You put it in there 5 minutes ago. We're doing a show, Jalen.
My bad. It's just. It was a lot. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
You good though? You good?
Yeah, you know we good.
That's the most important thing. You good?
Just a long day.
That's the most important thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just a long day.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad everything's working out now, brother.
Yes, we already touched base on the Heat and the Celtics. Are there any?
I want to ask y'all a question.
Sure.
Yeah. With Jamal Murray, right? How are we going to talk about Jamal Murray so he didn't do well against the Lakers, right? Besides the fourth quarters. Let's say if he has a great second round. How are we talking about Jamal Murray in terms of his ranking in the league?
He's one of the hardest players to rank because you could overrate him off what he does in the playoffs, or you could underrate him off what he does in the regular season. It's like the Jimmy Butler shit all over again.
Yeah. So that's why I'm asking, because specifically when I look at him and I'm like, bro, if this dude's able to perform like this in the postseason and just cruise in the regular season because he doesn't really need to play like this, in my head, I'm like, I mean, bro, I don't see a lot of players being able to do this and play next to Jokic and still be this great.
That's the thing. He has the privilege. He has the privilege of playing next to Jokic when in the regular season he's able to quote unquote kind of coast because Jokic I think does a lot of the heavy lifting.
No, Jokic coasts too. Remember how because
I ain't gonna lie, Jokic goes different.
That's what I'm saying. His goes different. Like,
his stats be crazy, but you could watch him play. He's coasting.
He does. Yes,
sure, but the level of rise that Jamal Murray has is just so wild.
Absurd, yes.
Right? Yeah. So it's just like, okay, so for me, it's like if you have one crazy playoff run, okay, I think a lot of players can have one crazy playoff run, right? You get hot at the right time, things happen. A lot of players. You have two crazy playoff runs. Okay, maybe you're kind of that guy. Then you start having 3, 4, and like that actually end up with championships. If he ends up having 2, maybe 3 championships, and he's playing like this consistently in the playoffs, then he just becomes like such a difficult player to rank. Well, like I said, right now
he's better than
all time. I mean, like I get it. I'm not mad at that. Like I get it.
He is.
But I also get like Trey. Again,
Trey cannot replicate what Jamal has been doing.
I really don't want to shit on Jamal. I love what he's done so far, Jalen, but Jamal has not been great in these playoffs, and we're being super honest. He's performed well in fourth quarters and hit big shots, but in terms of having a complete game for the first full 3 quarters, he's been pretty bad, I would say.
No, 100%. Yeah, like I said, the first 3 quarters, the only reason that they were even in those games was because of Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. was
crazy.
Crazy
in the first half.
Yeah. Case that MPJ has been more important or more, more so than Jamal Murray. Just because Jamal Murray.
Name me one outside of the first round of the Knicks series. Name me one. And if you go use it when they were down
with no DeJounte Murray.
When they were down 3-0, fuck out of here. That shit.
But they were the clutch.
They weren't down 3-0. Wait. They were not down 3-0 to the Boston Celtics last year, where
down 3-1.
DeJounte Murray got suspended. No DeJounte Murray. I think they were up 2-0. Then they lost a game, and then Trey took one more in game 5. Then they lost in 6. The point is, it shouldn't have went 6, and Trae Young was figuring out that Boston defense for the last 3 games of that series.
No, and the thing with like Jamal Murray's clutch shots, though, Jamal Murray's having like Jamal Murray's having like Robert Horry clutch moments versus players who perform throughout the whole game and still have to give you the clutch shot.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between.
I don't even think Trey was figuring out that defense. Motherfucker just started hitting bullshit.
Bruh. I can literally show you. I can show you footage.
How did he figure out their defense when he shot 9 for 28 in the closeout game?
Did you watch the game?
Talking about?
Wait, Jamal Murray.
How was that figuring out the defense?
He was making great passes.
Jamal Murray.
He's a great passer. He's a better passer than Jamal Murray. It's not even.
Yeah, Jamal Murray is shooting 30% in games, but because he does it in the fourth quarter, hits clutch shots, you overlook the 30% shooting. Like I said, if Trae Young played with Jokic and MPJ, he might have the luxury of shooting, 5 for 20 in the first 3 quarters to still be in the game, and then get hot in the fourth quarter, and everyone suddenly forgets.
I don't think he'll be able to replicate that.
He wouldn't be able to fit. He wouldn't be able to fit. Yeah, just like Jamal can, and that's where I give Jamal credit because he has maximized the fit, where even if he's not scoring, he can have a good impact on the game. And down the stretch, he understands when to be aggressive, and he makes big shots.
Is he Draymond Green with Steph?
What?
Is he like Draymond Green with Steph? Like, how like Draymond kind of I'm saying like Draymond Green or Klay Thompson playing with Steph.
No.
Is he that? Like, is it that?
No, not at all.
Jokic.
Because Jamal Murray, you can tell even in the lineups when Jokic is not there, like he's a hooper, and even like he really gets, he's a very good. He's not a better passer than Trey. He's a very good passer though.
Yeah.
And in isolation, I think he's phenomenal. I think even getting to the rim is better than Trae Young. I think his mid-range shot is definitely way more consistent than Trae Young's. His pull-up shot is way more consistent than Trae Young's. When I'm looking at Jamal and Trae, and I'm looking at it like, bro, if I gotta have this guy next to Jokic, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'm picking Jamal Murray every single time. And I think about it, like, how many times am I gonna pick Jamal Murray complimenting somebody over Trae Young? And I think, like, if they gotta play next to LeBron, I'd rather have Jamal. Because defense too. Defense is something that people are not talking about. Defensively, because of his physical attributes, that makes him I think he's a slight positive defender because I think he moves his feet well. So he's a slight positive defender while Trae Young is a clear negative. And the only thing that Trae Young really provides, 2 things that he provides way more value than Jamal Murray can, is maybe you could talk about his gravity and passing. And then everything else to
Murray
is Jamal.
To Maxey.
You said what?
How much better is Murray compared to Maxey?
Oh, way better.
Way better?
Way better.
I mean, the things Maxi's doing next to Joel
way better is a lot. I think he's
Tyrese Maxey's a better. I think Tyrese Maxey like a great, like crazy spot up shooter. Clears him in that.
I think he's better at getting. I feel like Maxey's better at getting to the rim.
He is better than
better at getting to the rim. Finishing at the rim is kind of.
Why are you shaking your head? No, he's one of the fastest players in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like getting to the rim.
He wanted the fat. When we're talking about on a break, when we're talking about like him off the screen wolves when beating.
No, I mean quick twitch in the half court set, get into the basket.
I think in the half court set, and the half court set, getting to the rim. Give me Jamal Murray. Breaking down the defender to get to the rim, I'm picking Jamal Murray every single time.
I wouldn't say that
every single time. I wouldn't say that. Maxey one-on-one game, not moving me like that.
I would say Tyrese Maxey can get downhill better than Jamal Murray, but I think Jamal Murray has the more complete in between game.
Not in the half court to me. In the half court, and you really see it, especially when Joel's not there. That brother be getting locked the fuck up. And then he gets locked the fuck up, gets forced into a crazy contested layup that he can't finish because he can't get separation from his man like that. Jamal Murray can't get that separation. And even though I think Tyrese is more athletic than him, so he is more quicker than him, I'm not even disputing that. But because of what you said, him having an array of moves to create an opening,
that's the difference
to use that. Jamal Murray, to me, is way better. Like, he's just way better for me. And passing is not even close. I got Jamal Murray as a passer.
Jamal Murray will always have that question mark of the Jokic tax.
For you?
I think
not for me.
For a lot of people. I mean, look.
I watch his game, bro. I'm not going to lie. It can translate. His game can translate, bro.
He got a good game. He got a good game.
Oh, my God. And you know what I was thinking about?
Deep playoff runs as the number one option? No. Like, he's a phenomenal number two. Trae Young is a number. I mean, he's probably
Trae Young ideally shouldn't be your one.
Yeah, he should be a two, though. Exactly, he should be a two. But I'm saying, do I think Trae Young could thrive like Jamal Murray next to an NBA caliber center? I think a lot of guards in the same echelon as Jamal Murray can thrive like he's doing. Has he shown it more in clutch moments? Yes.
I don't think Trae can fit in the way Jamal does.
I mean, sure, in this particular system, but do I think they make some adjustments that also kind of bring out things that Trae Young does that Jamal Murray can't?
I hear your point. I wholeheartedly agree. Even with those adjustments, a duo with Jamal and Jokic is going to be way better than Trae and Jokic. I think they could just feed off each other way better and way more consistently because Jokic ain't jumping for a lob, bro. So you're going to have Jokic and Trae Young try to give one person Aaron Gordon lobs? Get the fuck out of here. He ain't doing that.
I think Trae Young does more to Trae Young's game than just throwing lobs. I think in this system, he's able to find MPJ.
Oh, I'm gassing it for sure. I'm gassing it in that statement for sure. But, I mean, that's a lot of his assists come from. A lot of it. Cutting, cutters.
Like, that's true.
I mean, Jalen Brunson's for sure going to be better, clearly. I'm trying to think of other guards in the caliber. Who are the players we put in the caliber of Jamal Murray?
I would put Jamal
Kyrie.
I would put Jamal Murray in the caliber of Jalen Brunson.
That's crazy. See, I think that might be a little crazy.
Brunson's better than him.
That's what I think. I think Kyrie's better than him too, though.
I think they're in the same caliber. Like, very close. I think, especially in that role of the Knicks, I think Jamal can replicate a bit of what Jalen Brunson has done.
But
for sure.
A bit, but not the entire package, no.
I think so.
No way in hell. No way.
It's just the opportunity. He has to play next to Jokic.
Well, so Jalen Brunson is in what, second team All NBA conversations, third team,
first team conversations, low key.
Okay, yeah, you know what I mean. So is that the type? So that's the player Jamal Murray is first team All NBA conversations.
No,
if you keep rising like this in the postseason, you're fucking right. I'm not ready yet.
Is that postseason?
He hasn't. Dub. He has not risen this year in the postseason. He hasn't.
Hey, that's why. Hey. Make a full circle,
bro.
That's why.
Better yet. Let his chain get snatched. Let his chain get snatched when he plays Minnesota. When he has Anthony Edwards, Nas Reed, or JD McDaniels on him.
I'm just talking with optimism on that he's gonna cook for the next round. I mean, my opinion can change.
I'm not mad at that.
Again, these are just things. These are things I actually I'm just been thinking about like for the last few days.
Okay.
It's just in my mind, and I'm thinking about it. Like, dang, where can I put this guy if he's really cooking up like this? You know. And you know what? I think I heard you say it because Ticket talk about Kyrie Irving being the superstar as a second option. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. the reason why people look at him like that is because he was on the stage with LeBron James cooking like that. If Jamal Murray was on the stage cooking like that next to LeBron, the reverse would happen with Jamal, and people would be big.
I think Kyrie was cooking even more than Jamal because Kyrie was
of course. The point is that he was on that stage with LeBron with all of that attention for people to watch him from to showcase that, you know? So when people watch it and you can showcase like crazy shots that they're able to do, you're going to get tons and tons of media love to make you a superstar. Because people act like, I hate when people act as if like superstardom, like there's no there's no equation for like media love and like fan engagement. That's a part of it too. I mean, it is what it is.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It is interesting though, Jamal Murray, how he'll be remembered, you know, even like in his all-time ranking if he has a few more.
A good player.
A really good player. Yeah, with like, again, crazy fourth quarter numbers in the playoff rise. And like you said, Jimmy Butler-esque for sure. He actually gets the championship done because he has a guy like Jokic, you know, another guy's there. So it is interesting. It's better than Tony Parker.
Is you see Jimmy rise as the best player on the team. As good as Jamal can be, he'll never be better than Jokic in those spots.
So he'll never be above a number one option who gets his team to the finals, but doesn't win it. You know what I mean? So he'll never be above those. Okay, and I think that's fair. But I think a lot of people will put him ahead of.
He's a hooper though. Like I'm fine to say he's a hooper. 100% that's true. But I also feel like the flaws that he has as a player often aren't going to show as much in Denver's system because of their roster build and their functionality.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. We did see him cook too without Jokic in place when Jokic was hurt.
Yeah, like I could see his game, but he brought in the system part. So I was going to say that, but then he brought up the system, which I do understand that. But let's say Hawks, right?
Yeah.
I think the duo of DeJounte Murray and Jamal Murray is going to work better than Trey and DeJounte. Like, I think they could just feed off each other way better than Trey.
You said Jamal plus DeJounte versus Trey Young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. But the reason why is I think fundamentally Jamal is a better off-ball player than Trey Young, which means he's more portable. So that's probably fair to say. I don't think it makes him better than Trey. He's more portable, though. That's good.
He's better in isolation, man. Give me that one-on-one game.
I think a guy like Cade Cunningham was better than Jamal Murray in the regular season. And I wonder if he had the
opportunity. I like Cade.
Cade's a hooper too, though.
I love Cade. I think Cade is.
You put Cade with Jokic. What are we talking about?
I'm high on Cade, though.
I'm high on Cade too. I'm high on Cade too.
Yeah, so I wholeheartedly believe we all would be talking about Cade different as soon as he gets put on a better crew. 100%. Because I think the numbers he'll be able to do will be fucking crazy when he's 100%. Actually on a better crew. But he can't but he's on the fucking Pistons, bro. It's like
really bad team. So.
Oh yeah, but I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Y'all tapped out.
Yeah, listen. We got some more playoff stuff that is coming. The second round and all that approaches. So be sure to tap in for that. We'll be doing some more shows on Playback Sunday. So tap in. We got to figure out our scheduling and whatnot with that stuff.
12 o'clock Sunday. Hour before.
I'm not even sure anymore. I thought it was going to be 1 o'clock, but now we're saying 12. I don't know. We'll figure it out though.
Yeah, because the games start at 1, right? I think if there's a
salute to y'all, man. God bless, and always be there for your grandmothers, man. Shout out to you. That'll be easy, man. Salute.
What Dub said, man.